Ghost, just use. That's all good. I can hear you just
Okay.
fine. Yeah, I'm not rich, so I don't have AirPods. But hey, it is what it is. You got that Beretta money coming in. You can afford You can afford those AirPods.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
I was
thank you,
bummed when it didn't come with the iPhone.
dude. I know. What is that all about?
Yeah.
That's how they get you, though. They
Right, exactly.
sorry, I saw a comment that said, "Damn, some actual talent for once." Yeah, yeah, she's a beast. So, thank you for coming on. This is super exciting. So, I had forgotten that I had not had a female on the show. So, you were actually the first female on the show, which is pretty exciting.
That's funny. I was looking today at what other females have been on the show and I couldn't find anybody. So that's
Yeah,
cool. Thank you for having me.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, first, and one of many. We're gonna definitely make that a reoccurring theme. I just got
Yeah.
to talk him into coming on here and talking to me because I'm an idiot. But thank you for coming on the show. Super exciting. So, for those who don't know, introduce yourself and a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, my name's Lynda Turnbull. I'm a competition shooter and USPSA 3 gun, 2 gun. I've been shooting for about 10 years. So I'm a national champion last year in 2 gun nationals, 3 gun champion, and I've won multiple USPSA like area matches and sectionals, and I
Yeah,
just
you
shot Montana
you
sectional last weekend, and I took fifth overall in High Lady. That was good.
fifth overall. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Like I
Yeah.
think I was like
So,
81% of max, so that's pretty good for me.
whew,
Yeah,
81% of max is saying
yeah.
something
I was
because
proud of it. I was proud of it.
listen, I thought I shot great at Dragon's Cup, and then I saw my percentage first max and was like,
Yeah, yeah, me
okay.
too.
Yeah, he tends to do that. But so yes, you have won a lot of stuff. I mean, and 10 years of shooting, that's a long time. I mean, how old are
Yeah,
you? I know it's not a
23.
question you're supposed to ask, but 23. Yeah, so
Yeah,
you're
I
young.
started when
I
I
can
was
get away with
13.
asking that.
Yeah, yeah, I started
Thir-
when I was 13. So,
13 years old. How did you get into the sport?
my dad, my dad always enjoyed firearms, and he went out and bought his first pistol. It was an XDM 40 cal, and he wanted to start shooting competition. And he took me to his first competition, and I was just watching him, and I asked him, I just like, oh, I want to do that, and I got a gun. No, sorry, I started with his gun, took his gun, shot his gun at my first competition, and then it just kind of started from there.
You know, he was like, yes. As soon as you were like, I want to
Yeah,
do this, he's like,
I don't know. I
hell
kind of
yeah.
took all his all the his money in for ammo.
All
Shot
right.
all of his ammo.
So that's pretty cool. So you got started with your dad, which is
Yeah.
exciting. So when you started shooting originally, was it just like something fun to do with your dad?
Yeah, so my dad took me to this gun range in Salt Lake City called Get Some. It was an indoor range, and he we rented out machine guns. And the first trigger I ever pulled was on a machine gun, and yeah, I was pretty hooked.
That's one way to start. Just
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
hey, like the coolest way to shoot, we're just gonna go with that right off the bat.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I was super nervous at first, and I just went prone, and a guy was standing behind me, like holding my shoulder, and yeah, I just laid on the hammer. And then I started shooting competition right after, pretty much.
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
how long were you shooting, I guess, recreationally before you were like, okay, I'm gonna take this serious, make a legit run at being a pro at it?
So I was just kind of having fun with it for about 2 years, until Limcat Custom picked me up as a sponsor. And that's when I kind of realized that I had some potential and I could actually further my shooting career as in being a professional. And I really pushed like after I got sponsored by Limcat for to be a pro at it.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like Lim Cats. I like Johnny Lim.
Yeah.
He's cool.
Yeah, I like Johnny Limo too. He's my biggest mentor for sure.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy. Super nice. Super
Yeah,
nice. Every
very
time I
good.
talk to him, I'm like, you are one of the nicest people.
Yeah, he's kind of hard to talk to on the phone, but
Yeah, when you
in
see him in person,
person.
he's much better in person.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot easier in person.
Yeah. See, I'm the opposite. I'm easy on the phone. I'm an asshole in person. So it makes it the complete opposite effect. So whenever you started taking it more serious, what do you think was kind of your biggest, I would say, leap forward you took? What would you attribute to, I guess, going from, okay, this is a hobby to, okay, now I'm going to take a run at this? What was the difference in, okay, I'm at this classification now into this classification, and
Yeah.
how much training was involved in that process?
So it started off with just, just doing it for fun. Like I wasn't dry firing. I wasn't, it was just for fun. And then, Johnny picked me up, and that's when I started shooting matches every weekend. I was dry firing. I was hitting the range, live fire. Like I missed a bunch of opportunities at school, like just hanging out with friends, like dances, prom. I went to the range instead to practice. And I think that's when I really stepped up, is when I started getting sponsors.
Skip prom to go shoot. That's a gangster ass move.
I mean, I did go to prom, but like that was that was after, like another prom. But
Yeah.
yeah, I just remember, dances going on at school, and I would just go to the range instead.
Well, that's
'Cause,
awesome. I mean, if you find something you love, why not? I wish I would have found this sport at 13. Instead, I
yeah,
found it in my mid 20s, and I'm like, I'm so fucking old. Because,
yeah, I feel pretty fortunate. Like I don't know how, like I made it because I was 13 when I started. You know?
yeah, you see a lot of the heavy hitters like yourself
Yeah,
and JJ and
Christian and
Christian, and all, they start
yeah.
at, young teens or sometimes earlier,
Mhm.
and they hit that. Because I really do think that at a certain point in this sport, that experience helps a lot. In the think about how many matches and how many hours and hours and hours you've put into this versus someone who got into this at the age of 20 and is now 30, and you're competing against them. You've got the same amount of experience, you've just got a 10-year head start, or
Right.
7-year head start. It's
Yeah,
pretty
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Yeah, and there's
So
not there's not very many juniors who stay in it too, and the ones that do, like they're really good today, like for example, like the Williams sisters,
yep.
they started when I started, and they're, rock stars, and Christian Saylor, JJ Racaza, Casey Asuvio, like all these guys, world champions.
Yeah, they're all world champions and national champions. They all started as kids.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
See,
Pretty
like
cool.
now I'm gonna be old when I win one. It's gonna be like I'm gonna walker my ass up the stage and be like, "Thank you so much for my super
Yeah,
senior title." And
super
then,
senior. You first place super senior.
oh my gosh! All right, so pretty exciting. You just signed with Beretta.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that experience. Like, give us kind of the background and the details. Were you freaking out when you first figured it out that it was happening?
Oh yeah. So I went to they're coming out with a clothing line, a new women's clothing line, and I traveled to Tennessee to be a part of that. Didn't sign with Beretta. They just wanted, other women there to promote their products, like the women's clothing line, and they thought I would be a good fit. And they didn't really know like anything about me, like national champion, or like I shot for Limcat Custom, Taren Tactical, um, and then just all of a sudden they reached out to me like, hey, you want to shoot a 92X for us at CO Nationals? And yeah, I said, yeah, of course. Like, I'd love to. I hadn't been shooting carry optics yet. I was going to shoot a Glock 34 just for the hell of it, not like anything, like just for fun, right?
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, they reached out to me, and that's where that started. And I went to where was it? Virginia Beach to do a photo shoot with them, like for the APX A1 launch. So that was pretty cool. That's where that got started.
that's pretty awesome. So when
Yeah.
you first signed with them, was there like kind of a freak out moment where you're like, holy shit, I just signed with one of the oldest firearms manufacturers known to man, one of the biggest on the planet?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm actually still working out a contract with them. But I mean, it's very apparent they want me to be on the team, but I'm on a TTI contract right now, so I have to wait for that, and then I can sign the Beretta contract after that. But we've been talking about it. Like I've been taking my time with it because it's not something not to rush into. But I'm
Yeah.
pretty stoked for it. Like I can't believe it. Like it's the biggest opportunity I've had in with my shooting career yet.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean,
Oh,
if you think about it, it's the shooting community. I attribute a lot to like Formula One when it comes to those type of sponsors.
yeah,
There's a handful of large firearms manufacturers that are taking on, you know, top tier pros,
yeah,
and there's maybe a dozen of those spots available. And
right. There's not very many, and
yeah, and
you
the
know, and
opportunity for one to come up is not, I mean, think about the people who have been shooting for these
right,
companies. I mean, they're there forever. You know, shit. Shane's been at Glock for,
yeah, for a long time, and
I mean, shit,
you
forever. You
know,
know,
like with
Sig, Max. You know,
yeah, Jerry Mossberg, right? He or Smith and Wesson.
yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean,
So
it's
I mean,
huge.
it was one of my biggest goals was to be with a bigger company.
Joseph said, juggling two massive companies to sign with. What a great problem to have.
I know,
The struggle.
I know. I'm like ah. I mean, I've been with Taren for a long time though, so it is like kind of pulls at my heartstrings a little bit. But
Yeah,
when
he's a cool
something comes
guy.
up,
He's
yeah.
a really cool guy. I met him at SHOT Show 2019 or 2020. Maybe it was right before COVID.
Okay.
So I think 2020, and super
Oh,
nice
how
dude.
yeah, that's a crazy shot show to meet him at.
Yeah, right.
But
Yeah, it was a crazy shot show to meet him at, but he was
yeah,
nice, you know,
right,
and
yeah.
I actually have a picture of him dry firing my gold open gun wherever it is. It's probably put away, but he was playing with it. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's pretty cool," you know, and he was like, "Can I
Yeah.
get one of this in gold?" And Adam was like,
How do
"No,
I
we're
get
not doing
combat
that."
master in this?
Yeah, right.
But
But so how long have you been with Taren?
oh, I've been with Taren like since the 2014 World Shoot, I think it was, or 15 World Shoot. Yeah,
That's
it
a
was
long time.
I shot with him on the same squad, and he picked me up there, and I shot three gun for him for a little bit, and then I went with then I started shooting open again with my Limcat, and then back with Taren for two gun.
Yeah, because that you have that open. Is it a combat master? I forget what the name they call that one. The open
Oh,
gun that you have for Terran.
the Combat Master Alpha.
Yeah, the combat master. Sweet gun.
Pretty sweet.
Sweet gun.
Yeah,
I played
they're
with one
really
the other day.
sweet.
I was like, oh shit, this thing's nice.
I think they're great for three gun open guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a
Why would you?
minor 9mm.
Yeah, those
Yeah,
things are so fun. So that's
yeah.
something that you know, I know you from USPSA because I don't shoot three gun, but
Mhm.
you're heavily involved in three gun and two gun. Which would you say is your favorite? Three gun, two gun, or USPSA?
Two gun.
Two gun, you don't
Two
like
gun.
the shotgun?
I kind of actually I stepped away from three gun a couple years ago because of shotgun. I wouldn't say because of shotgun, but I was just booked with USPSA, like with nationals going on and like 20 matches a year. There was no time for three gun, or I kind of chose my matches. So I'm not a huge shotgun fan, but two gun, that's where it's at.
I've always said I need to go shoot a two gun match. Chase keeps trying to drag me to some of them, but I just haven't had the time. It's always I always book USPSA matches when the two gun matches are.
Yeah.
But I
You
always
haven't
said if
shot.
I was I always
You
said if I
haven't
was
shot two gun.
no, never shot two gun. No, I need to. I have all the stuff. Like I have rifles,
Yeah.
you know. I have
Right.
badass rifles. I have a bunch of F1s, but I just haven't done it. But I've always said if I'm going to shoot three gun, I'm using one of those mag fed shotguns, like a
Right. Oh
Dissident.
yeah. Everybody uses that now. Like
Hell yeah! I
the
tried to learn the quad load deal. Yeah, dude,
oh my gosh,
I look.
shells everywhere.
Yeah, it was so bad. It's so bad. I look like somebody got hit in the head, and then coming out of a
Yeah.
coma was trying to learn how to load a shotgun. That's how bad it was. Absolutely terrible.
Well, with the mag fed shotguns now, what you can hold like 20 rounds.
Yeah,
Reload once. It's the fastest reload. It can't beat a quad loading.
yep, yep. And I remember when I first learned about three gun, I was watching Jerry Mikulik, and
Oh yeah,
he had those long tube
the
loaders, you know.
tubes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had this pouch on his hip with like 50 of those things.
Yeah.
I was like, God,
That's what I ran in open. The tube was like longer than my leg.
Yeah, it's
Only held
crazy.
6 rounds.
It's absolutely
Like, I have
insane.
like videos of my arm like all the way up like with the load. It's so funny.
Slapping in 2 or 3 of
Yeah,
those things.
it like splits apart. Oh gosh.
Yeah, I'm on a hard pass on that. I have a lot of people who are trying to get me to go do 3-gun matches. I'm like, man, listen, if I do it, I got to go buy a Dissident, and then I'm going to spend $5,000, and then I'm going to use it 4 times, and I'm going to be like, what did I buy this thing for? Then I'm going to have to go take it hog hunting or something to do some cool shit with it.
Yeah, and do you need to get them tuned? Do they just work right out the box?
I don't know.
I don't
Never
know.
had one. I'm sure somebody on here has one. I think Marco's on here. He probably has 19 of them.
Oh yeah. Isn't
Yeah,
that what Josh Freilich runs?
I think so. It's that or one of those Vepper modded 80s or whatever
Oh,
they're
the
called.
Vepers, yeah.
Yeah. Just follow the rules and shotgun and smoked brown ales women's. So apparently you
yeah.
followed the rules. So tell me that story. Is that a story worth hearing?
That was a long time ago. 2015, there was a all ladies match, Brownells Lady 3-gun. And I remember my Taren tactical ultralight rifle. There was a primer that got stuck in my trigger, and my gun went full auto. So I stopped myself on the stage because my gun was going full auto. So I stopped myself. I should have finished the stage, and I took 45 seconds in penalties. And I thought I was going to lose the match. You know, I was competing against Lena. Lanny Barnes was there, Maggie Reese, you know, top 3-gun females
Monsters,
at that
yeah.
time. I'm like, I can't catch up. Like, I'm just gonna have fun, you know. And at the end of it, like, I ended up winning open. I have no idea how. Like, I think a lot of other women had some problems with their guns too, because it was in St. George, Utah, super windy, dusty.
Similar to Dragon's Cup. It's just crazy wind, crazy dust.
That was my first, that was one of my most memorable matches, because something, you know, like that happened to me, and I didn't think I was going to be able to pull back, and I ended up winning, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's super awesome. I mean, you hear stories like that, like, you know, people having huge issues on stages, somehow just pulling it out.
Yeah.
And that takes, one, it takes a certain level of maturity to be able to go, okay, let's just push through this and not focus on it. And then 2, it takes a lot of hard-earned skill. I mean, when you dig a hole like that, you know, in this game, even if you dig a tiny hole, sometimes it's too much to climb out of, depending on who you're shooting against.
Right.
So to be able to pull through that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I didn't think I was going to be able to.
So what do you think would be your, like, crowning achievement? If you had to pick one match that you won where you're like, that's the one I'm most proud of, which do you think it would be?
Oh, that's a really hard question. I think it would probably be the Extreme Euro match in Czech Republic. Not because I won the match, but just because how I shot. My mental game was on point the whole entire match. So there's 30 stages, and I had 1 miss, and it was on a stage that I went up to and it was the only stage that I told myself, like, I don't really like this stage. Like, can we get this stage over with? And that was the one stage where I should like kind of switch my mentality and just like, oh, I'm just going to crush this stage like I have been the other ones. So I had a miss on that one stage, but the whole entire match was my best match I've ever shot. So I had 30 stages, I had 1 miss, and that was a big accomplishment for me. Like, I was up there with Max like the whole time, and like I don't know what happened, like, but my mentality was really, really good.
Yeah, it was just like everything fell together type match.
Yeah, everything just felt perfect. Like, you know, like I was splitting exactly how I wanted to. Like, I was seeing all my targets. Like, my vision was on. Everything was on.
Plus, I mean, doesn't hurt that is one of the sickest matches
Yeah.
That's a bucket list match. I've been telling myself I was going to go do it, but I haven't. You got to sign up for it super early, and like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a really great match. Like, I think I shot it back in 2019 before COVID hit, it was before COVID hit. I don't even know when COVID hit. I don't pay attention to that, but
2020.
I shot it at 2019 with my open gun, and I thought it was the best match I've ever shot. And then the next 2 years later, I came back and shot PCC, and that was the best. That's when I had my best match. with the
Yeah,
PCC.
that match, that Archangel Michael range is one of the
Sorry.
sickest. Here, you got technical difficulties. Is one of the sickest ranges. Is that thing as cool
Yeah.
in person as it looks on YouTube? Because it looks sick.
Oh yeah, it's a huge facility, you know, and the match is 30 stages. That's a world shoot. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, and you know it's an IPSC match, so there's different rules there. But you're shooting with the top. You know, Erica Fell shows up. You know,
Yep.
you're shooting with the top level shooters, and that was pretty awesome to see Eric shoot. You know, and Maria Gashina, and yeah,
Yeah. There's some heavy hitters over there across the pond.
yeah, and
Um,
they do shoot offs really cool. So the shoot offs, they call it the Super Six, and the top six of each division shoot off. And what they do is they pick 3 stages from the match to shoot off, and like there's probably 50 people in the crowd like just watching these shoot offs, and like it was really hype. It's
and
the best shoot off I've ever been a part of.
that's after the match. Like when the
Yeah,
match is
after the
finished, they
match.
do a shoot off.
Yeah, and they call it the Super Six. They make you feel like very special and like, oh, you just won, you're badass, and now you're going to the shoot off, you know, and everybody's super hype at the shoot off, you know, clapping, cheering, yelling. It's so much fun.
Dude, that sounds sick. See, I feel like I
Yeah,
wish we could have that type of stuff over here because clearly there's matches like that happening, right?
right,
And they're doing stuff like that. Why don't we have that stuff here? Because if I went to a USPSA Nationals and then afterward there was a shoot off, that
right.
would be so insane.
Yeah, and people love it, you know, people love watching their idol shoot. And the top six, like, someone's got to be your idol, right? Like, um,
Yeah.
but I think that was probably my favorite part of the whole match was the shoot off.
Was it super hard to get? I mean, is it a hard match to get to? I mean, how,
Uh,
how hard was it to travel with your guns and stuff into that country?
it wasn't too hard, like just stay away from Amsterdam. Um, but other than that, like, you know, we connected, and well, we flew into Czech Republic. So that was super easy, you know, no gun problems there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to do it. I keep telling myself to do it. I had plans to do it, but then COVID hit.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not getting stuck overseas for a month because I keep testing positive or something stupid like that.
Right. Yeah,
Which,
that was some bull crap, but I didn't have to get like vaccinated or anything.
yeah. I've still yet to catch this COVID thing everybody keeps freaking out about. But hey, whatever. So the Extreme Euro. Now, what was probably your favorite U.S. match that you've shot?
US, let's see, like just out of the whole time I've been shooting.
Yeah, what's like your favorite match you've ever
Oh,
shot?
Dragon's Cup.
Word,
Dragon's Cup.
word, yeah.
I love Dragon's Cup. Like I was so bummed I couldn't make it to awards this year. I
Those
think that's
awards were
the
hype. I
best.
missed it too.
You missed awards?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had to. My dad was. We were selling his house, and we had to have everything moved out on Monday. So I had to leave and drive home Sunday after the match. And the whole time, everybody's sending me all these videos. I'm like, God, that award ceremony looks hype as hell. Oh, are you there? Yeah, I can hear you now.
There we go. Yeah. Yeah,
But yeah,
Dragon's
I
Cup.
had to leave too early. That's a really good match. I mean, Marco and Billy put so much time and effort into that match,
Oh
and
yeah, the
I think this year it's going to be a little earlier in the year, so it's not so hot. Freaking perfect.
right, that would be perfect a little later or earlier. But
Yeah,
best stages
yeah,
I've
for
seen
sure.
at a major match, best stages I've ever seen. Even better than nationals. Like wonderful stages.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think we're having some technical difficulties here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just super delayed on your end. I need to connect and reconnect. All right, let's test it now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
All
All
right.
right, let's keep rolling. All right, so you got into the sport at a super young age, right? Well, obviously you're still young, but what advice would you give to new competitors who are juniors coming in? Like, what would be some good piece of advice you'd give them? Because that was a question asked a lot when I posted the Ask the
Yeah.
Questions Here thing. I got 4 or 5 juniors saying, what advice would she have for kids like us?
Okay. Yeah. So, well, I mean, the first thing is go to practice score and find a local match in your area. I recommend going to a local match before you show up to shoot, just to, get your gear straight, learn about the safety rules, make sure you know, like, all your safety, no ammo in the safe area, like things that aren't going to get you DQ'd for something stupid, right? Yeah, so go to a local match. I would recommend watching YouTube videos of just shooters, follow some shooters on Instagram or Facebook, whatever, YouTube. But first off, like, learn your safety is the
Yeah.
biggest thing for juniors. And then, yeah, I would just hop right into it. Like it's like my dad just threw me right into my first stage, and I was extremely scared and nervous, and I was shaking so bad, and I didn't get over being nervous for probably 5 years after my first stage, like I was always so nervous. But
Yeah. I was 25 or 4, one of the two. And I was so damn nervous at my first match. I could only imagine how I would have felt at like 13. I would have been
oh yeah.
freaking out.
Yeah. I won't ever forget the feeling. Like, it was just an adrenaline. I was shaking. I couldn't pull a trigger. I couldn't do anything. Like, I couldn't even knock a Texas Star with 3 mags on my belt. Like, yeah, it
I
was
can't do that now, so that's not too crazy.
with 2 big sticks and 2 140s.
Right. Bill, yes, I do have respectable people on here sometimes when they agree to come on. Only if you probably aren't a previous listener. You probably haven't listened to the other podcasts, so you're okay with doing this, but
I've listened to a few of your podcasts.
Well, there you go.
I listened to the one with Scott Green.
Yeah, that was a good one. He's a
That was a
super
good
cool
one.
guy.
Yeah, he is.
And a monster.
When I was shooting in Reno, I shot with Scott. Yeah, we traveled to California.
Where are you based out of now?
So right now I'm in St. George, Utah.
I love that range down there where they had the what was it, the Magnus Cup?
Oh, SUPs?
Yeah.
Yeah, they rebuilt that range. So I don't know when you were here last, but they rebuilt that range.
That was 2019. So probably before they rebuilt it. Because they were talking
Okay.
about, I was talking to Brian, I think it was Brian Nelson, was
Yeah.
telling me that the people across the mountain were bitching about stray bullets.
Ricochets, yeah.
Yeah, bringing a full bullet, and they're like, "Look, it
I
came
know,
over."
like, this hit my truck. It's a full projectile.
Yeah, you're like, "Oh my God, that's
This
not
hit
how
my...
it works."
Oh no, I think it was a full bullet, not even a projectile.
Yeah, it was. He told me that they brought like a
Yeah.
full unfired bullet, and we're like, "This
Yeah,
hit my
tick for it.
car."
Yeah. This hit
Oh,
my garage door.
people like that should just be thrown immediately in prison.
Yeah.
Ugh. But
Yeah,
but
but
yeah,
they rebuilt the range, and now the bays are skyscrapers. It's huge bays.
is that your home range? Is that where you train out of most of the time?
No, I train out at Cobalt Kinetics. So they have a range here. It's a pretty awesome natural terrain range, and I think they have about 8 bays. But it's probably the most beautiful range in the country, I would say.
Well, those guys do it right. Their
Yeah.
booth was not too far from our booth at NRA,
Yeah.
and I talked to them for quite a bit because he came over and looked at our stuff, and then I was like, "Well, I'm not against looking at some cool rifles."
Yeah.
So I went and hung out with those guys. They're pretty legit.
Yeah, they've come a long way from what it was before to what it is now. They've really changed it. So
I remember the first Cobalt Kinetics rifle I saw was that white and blue one. Remember when they had the white and blue one forever?
it was on a long time ago. I can't.
Yeah. It was
I
probably
didn't.
like 2018 or 2017. I
Yeah,
bought one. I
I
probably
didn't
still
follow
have it.
them. Yeah,
I
I
might
didn't
still have
follow
that
them back
rifle.
then. And then when they got new ownership and I learned that they were in St. George, Utah, that's when I kind of, started following them and introduced myself. But yeah, I didn't. They came a long way since then.
Yeah, definitely. So when you shoot 3-gun or 2-gun or USPSA, do you have a hard time going from one to the other, or do you kind of just transition between pretty easily, or do you have to actually like sit down and go, okay, I'm shooting 2-gun in 3 weeks, I got to sit down and practice 2-gun over USPSA, and vice versa?
Yeah, so recently I've been shooting PCC, practicing for PCC, and I was practicing for 2-gun nationals all the way up until 2-gun nationals, and then all that happened, and I decided the best thing for me to do was not to go. Yeah, so I was training PCC, so it really just switches over, you know, because I was going to shoot my PCC at 2-gun nationals, and then I just picked up my open gun, my Combat Master open gun. But whenever I'm practicing, I'll bring both of my guns out, you know, my Combat Master in this case and my PCC, and I'll just practice with both of them. So for 2-gun nationals, I was practicing for like 3 months for 2-gun nationals.
Yeah.
To try to, you know, defend my title. But I didn't end up going.
Yeah, a lot of people pulled out of that one.
Yeah, I thought it would be best. Like most of the competition pulled out anyway. So most of the top guys, and I was a junior back in 2013, so I would have gotten in trouble if with the whole mag, like if you said like, oh, like I had it before 2013, but
yeah,
I didn't think it was worth it.
Yeah, I shoot Atlas mags, so it's been pretty easy to find out that they weren't from 2013.
Yeah, my mags too.
Yeah, so would have been pretty quick. But
with
so
you know, plus 10 Taren base pads on them.
yeah, that would have been a hard sell. So now, I mean, I guess they moved. I think today, was it today or yesterday? I guess they moved what was the 4-day nationals out of Cameo. Now it's back at CMP.
Yeah.
Which I like that range. It's small, but
I like that range too. It's a pretty far away from here, but
yeah.
better than
Are you
Colorado.
driving?
No, I'll be flying.
Oh,
yeah.
I was about to say.
Yeah,
I'm driving, but I'm
flying.
only like 10.5 hours.
Yeah, you're in Texas, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it takes 13 hours to drive across Texas anywhere, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But all right, so one question I got was, how often do you dry fire versus live fire? Do you spend majority of your time dry firing, or are you more of like, hey, I dry fire here and there, but I love live fire type person?
I would say both. So when I'm dry firing, I pretty much go to the range every day. Like, you know, my range is 10 minutes away, or the Cobalt range, it's 10 minutes away. So when I'm at the Cobalt range, is what I'll do is I'll set up a stage, or maybe it's a quick, you know, like a drill, like if I'm working transitions or whatever it may be. But usually it's a full stage, and I'll dry fire the stage like 5 times, and I'll usually have Max recording me, you know, and I'll like, oh, like I can be faster here, I can take off faster, why am I drop stepping there, like I don't need to be drop stepping, or, you know, I kind of critique myself, and then get a good run dry fire, and then go live fire, and I'll do it again, you know, I'll change up the course, dry fire 5 times, and then live fire once, change it up, you know. And I find like that's the best way for me. Whenever I do dry fire at home, it's just like mag changes or working on my draw.
Yeah, the boring stuff.
Yeah, the boring stuff.
That's a pretty interesting concept, though. Dry firing that much at the range, because I do dry fire at the range, but I haven't thought about, hey, let's run this stage dry until I got it, and then okay, I'm gonna live fire it type deal. That's pretty neat.
I like it. I like doing that. Like it's helped me a lot.
You might be onto something. I mean, clearly you're winning all these matches.
And it's, you know, it saves ammo too. It's just dry fire it. Why not? You know, like dry fire it over and over and over again. Even though at a match you don't get to dry fire it, but you know, I dry fire with a mag in, a loaded mag, everything's safe. Like I'm just running a stage dry fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's weird because like whenever I do it, I'll dry fire stage, and then I'll try to get close to the time. You know, like whenever I'm done, Max will hit the timer, and I'm faster on the live run. when I'm actually shooting it. It's weird. Like,
Well,
so
you're probably dry firing the stage honestly. You're not
right,
doing
yeah, which is a
the.
good thing, but that tells me like, oh, like maybe I can even speed up the dry fire a little bit and see how far I can get until I break.
Yeah, I found out real quick once I started dry firing honestly and holding myself to an honest standard. I was like, oh shit, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not quite as fast as I thought I was. And then once you build the speed up in dry fire and then you go confirm it live fire, sometimes on certain drills you are faster live. I think it
yeah,
might
yeah.
be because you get into almost a flow state.
Right. Yeah. That would make sense. And I mean, it's just not even like by a second, faster, but just quarter second. And you would think the live fire would be faster, so I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. So obviously you go to the range every day, right?
Almost every day, every other day, like at
Well,
least
yeah,
4 times a week.
you go plenty.
Yeah.
Do you have a regular day job? Or are you like,
No,
no, I'm full time shooting?
I shoot and I teach, and that's what I do.
That sounds like it doesn't suck.
Bitcoin too.
Yeah, right. We're all hurting right now for Bitcoin.
Yeah, Bitcoin. But,
I had a buddy of mine. I had a buddy of mine the other day call me like, "Dude, you got to buy in the dip." I'm like, I have owned
bye, bye,
Bitcoin
bye.
for a while. Okay,
Oh
I am
yeah.
not buying any more of it right now. And he's like, "Well, I'm putting in X amount of money into it while it's down." I was like, "It's gonna be a while before it goes back up, dude."
Yeah, I mean, I wish I had money to put in it right now. It's so low.
Yeah, no
But
kidding. You just hope it doesn't go away, right? This
I
would be
know,
the
I
one
hope it.
time you have a chance to buy it at this super low dip, and then it's like, oh, by the way, we're going under.
We're going lower. We're not coming back up.
I put my life savings into this, damn it.
Exactly.
I don't want to be that guy. Come home, my wife's like, and we're homeless. Thanks a lot.
Thanks. That's funny.
Yep. So you teach, right?
Yeah,
How long have you been doing that? How long have you been doing that aspect of the sport?
about 3 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
I pretty much started teaching right when I moved to St. George. I started working for Tactical Performance Center, TPC. The Ron Avery started that.
Yep.
And I worked for them for a little while, and then Ron Avery passed away, and then I decided to go on my own and start my own thing.
Yeah, I never got to meet Ron Avery, but everyone I talk
Yeah.
to has nothing but good things to say about him.
Oh yeah, he was a great guy. Really
I
great
mean,
guy.
how big of an influence was he in your shooting?
The first time Ron Avery saw me shoot, like it was probably pretty embarrassing. Like, but he helped me within 5 minutes. He changed the whole game. And I didn't really think that I was kind of like plateauing when Ron Avery saw me shoot. And he really helped me. He took me aside and he just for 10 minutes, and he taught me about grip, trigger, and stance all in that little time. And he's like, let's walk the stages, because there was some stages set up at the subs range, and we went and walked the stages together, and he had me shooting the stages, and I shaved like 3 seconds off my time on all the stages, and I couldn't
Yep.
believe it, and then that was my first experience with Ron Avery, and unfortunately he wasn't around for very much longer after that, but
Yeah, he's a legend, though. I mean,
yeah,
that
yeah,
guy gave so much back to the sport. It's unreal.
yeah, he did. He was an awesome shooter and even better instructor, like probably the best instructor who's ever lived.
Yeah, I have a few buddies that have been shooting for quite a while, and they've had class because I talked to them about like, man, who are the good instructors, blah blah, because they've been around the sport, some of them for 20 years, 30
Yeah,
years. Talk to them like, who's the best instructor? Like, y'all have obviously taken them from everybody, and I get a lot of like, man, when he was around, Ron Avery was the guy.
the guy. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's sad. You lose a legend like that. I mean, sucks.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah. But yeah, it was pretty sad. Everybody felt it when he passed away.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, let's transition to a happier
Yeah,
subject.
yeah, I'm gonna shed a tear. No.
How much do you think obviously you instruct a lot, right? How much do you think in your instructing do you ever catch things that somebody else is doing that you notice that you also do, and because you caught it in their shooting, now you fix it in your own shooting?
Yes, all the time. So even though I might know something, like I've been told a million times, like, like a specific detail in shooting, and I understand it, why it would be better, but maybe I'm still not at that skill level to what's the word? Just to get it right every single time. I understand what they're saying, like, oh, like your draw should be under this time, and then I'll just like kind of think about it for a second, and then I'll try it and try it and try it until I get it right. But usually I'm always, even when I'm teaching, I'm still learning from myself. And it's kind of like, so even though I know what it may, like what's right versus what's wrong, I'm still maybe not perfect at what's right, but like at least I know how to get there, and how I know how to work towards it versus not knowing like what I'm doing.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely learn from my own teaching.
Yeah, I find every instructor that I talk to in the shooting sports, I ask them that question, and they're like, "Oh, dude, some of my biggest breakthroughs have been when I'm teaching someone and I notice what they're doing. I go, hey, man, you should do this instead." And then you go,
right.
"Oh, crap, I do that."
Right, exactly. Yeah, like, I mean, I do that too, but this is what you're doing.
Yeah. Listen, I don't do as I say, not as I do type deal.
Yeah. But yeah, I definitely learned from my own teaching, and even watching other people shoot that I might not even be teaching, but just watching other people shoot, I still learn a lot.
So are you traveling around doing this instruction, or you do it at like kind of a home base?
I like doing it more at home, but I do travel around the nation to teach.
That's awesome.
I like teaching all women's classes the most.
Yes, so my first I guess instructing job in firearms was when I got involved with Permian Basin Young Guns. I was teaching all female shooting classes.
Oh, cool.
For like 3 years while also doing the youth shooting classes.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I'm going to start teaching, men. And I was immediately like, God, men are so much harder to teach. So much more difficult to teach. It's so it's annoying at some points where I'm like, God, man, just shut up and just do what I'm telling you to do.
Shut up and listen.
Yeah, because they come in, guys come into classes and they're like, oh, I'm X, Y, and Z, I'm a bad son of a bitch. And then you tell them, hey, by the way, man, everything you're doing sucks. You should probably do something else. I mean, obviously you say it nicer than that, but they're like, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, I'm just the one you're here paying,
Yeah, exactly.
You do you. But every time I do a female class, every single time, all of them are like, oh, so I do this. All right, cool. And they just do it.
Yeah, and then they do it. Yeah.
Ugh.
I find that too.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. So where can people, if they are interested in taking a class from you, where can they find sign up for something like that?
So I usually take it like someone will message me and I'll start like, oh, like get some of your friends and let's have like a 6 people in the class. That, or I have a website, Lynda Turnbull training. But usually I just respond to Instagram. Usually it's mostly Instagram messages that come through. And then we'll set up a class at a home base, Colorado, or actually not Colorado anymore. No, Colorado.
They're out.
Montana, Idaho, even California. I've done classes. Nevada. Let's see, Florida.
California.
Depending how many people I can get in the class is where I'll travel or not.
That's legit. So if you're interested in taking the class, just go to her website or message her on Instagram. The Colorado thing is crazy, but California, I have yet to go shoot in California because I don't know like what's allowed and what's not allowed. And I can never get a legitimate answer. Like I don't want to show up with my open guns and 30-round mags and be like, oh, guy from Texas who clearly is not on our side, I'm taking you to jail.
Take all your mags at the airport.
Yeah, that would suck.
I've never had that happen to me, so, but
yeah. I have a lot of people say it's easy, but.
Yeah, it seems like Colorado is worse than California. Like, I can't believe all the crap going on in Colorado, but I've never gotten California, like, seems pretty laid back, like certain parts of it. Sacramento area, like, they have a lot of local matches there that don't have problems.
Crazy Al 57 say you need to do a class in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Set it
Okay,
up.
I'll go to Hawaii.
Yeah, right. Oh no, the horror. I have to go
Wait,
to
isn't that
Hawaii
like
to work.
10 round magazines though? 15 round magazines?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with
I
anybody's
think
gun
so.
laws except for Texas. We got all the
None of my guns
freedoms.
are legal there.
Yeah. They said North Cali is cool, South Cali not so great.
Yeah, yeah. I've shot in North California a lot, so I've never had a problem.
My old boss was from Bakersfield, and he was like, dude, Bakersfield is like a mini Texas inside of California. It's easy. I was like, well, I got to go through all the rest of California to get to
Yeah, to
Bakersfield.
get
So,
there, yeah.
but who knows? So, which division do you like better, PCC or open?
Open. Easy open.
Word.
Open. Open's my all-time favorite division. I
It
think
is.
it's the most competitive, super fast. Like, top guys are shooting open. Yeah, I enjoy open.
That seems to be anyone who is an open shooter always kind of goes, yeah, it's open. Unless
Open.
see, that's why I got into it. Is I said, I want to go shoot against the best people, and then I got an open gun for that reason.
Yeah.
And then once I shot it, I was like, this is so much more fun than limited. Like, you get to just go full rails,
Yeah.
hard as you can, and just see what happens, type deal. I mean, I have a crutch in my shooting right now where I'm not going fast enough on the trigger, but which is oddly enough, you're shooting an open gun, you're supposed to be able to just hammer everything.
All right, yeah, that's when it goes wrong, when you tell yourself to go faster.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm trying to work that in slowly but surely.
Yeah, man, I was watching your videos, your open videos.
Yeah, I need to pull the trigger faster.
Me too. Especially shooting PCC, you need to be splitting out at 30 yards for like 14 splits.
So that was the craziest thing. The first time I ever shot with Max in person.
Yeah.
I was watching him shoot a stick, and you see videos on Instagram, and you don't really get a good judgment of how crazy it is to watch somebody throw 10 splits at 40-yard partials on the move sometimes.
Yeah.
And you watch it in person after you just did it with an open gun and did not do that. You're like, holy shit.
Right. Yeah, there's been times like Max and I are out practicing, and he's shooting, and I always watch him shoot, and I'm like, you only shot one at that target. And he's like, no, I shot two. And I'm like, no, you shot one. And, we go up, there's two holes in the target. I'm like, I literally heard one shot.
Yeah. Well, I swear, I don't know how, I think he's literally on the trigger, ready to go as the bolt's coming forward, and it's almost slam firing, it feels like. It's
right.
It's insane.
Yeah, bump firing it, but yeah, he can pull it pretty fast.
Yeah. Someone asked, are you going to go 92X open gun?
No, just I'm going to stick with the 92X CO gun first, and then so they only make the 92X Performance in Italy. So we'll see what happens in the future. Right now I'm going to focus on carry optics for them.
I will say I've shot JJ's open gun.
Yeah.
It doesn't suck.
No, they don't suck.
No, I was skeptical when he first brought it, because it was me,
Everybody
him.
is.
Yeah, it was like me, him, and Marco. We were out at the range in West Texas, and he was like, "Oh yeah, check it out." I was like, well, "It's heavy." First off,
Yeah, it's heavy.
Much heavier than my open gun. I was looking at it like, "How is this possible? It's missing half the damn slide." And then I shot it and was like, "Yeah, not bad."
Yeah, and it's a 9 major too.
It's 9 major.
Super.
Yeah, and the price, I was like, "What? All right, okay."
Yeah.
But the 92X carry optics gun is, in my opinion, the best carry optics gun. The one that JJ's been shooting. I shot it and was immediately like, I gotta get some of these things.
Yeah, I can't believe how soft it shoots. I was pretty
insane.
skeptical at first. I didn't really educate. I didn't know a lot about Beretta before they picked me up. I didn't really know a whole lot because I've always been 2011s. 2011's the best. But like, nobody can change my mind. And then I had a 92X, and I'm just messing with it. I'm like, damn, this gun's better than the Shadow 2, shoots better. The double action's crisp. Like, there's no, like, the double action is great. Just right out of the box, the gun is ready to go.
Yeah. The single action trigger side of it, once it goes single action, is absolutely preposterous.
Yeah,
how fast that thing resets.
Yeah, and I was going to say the reset, so little.
It's like, I forget, Jay just said it's like 2 millimeters or some shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
I was
there's like, yeah, no wonder you can split with it, It's a really good gun. I've been shooting it just iron sights, and I'm like, I'm gonna start shooting production with this thing. Like,
now you can. You got 2 separate nationals. You got open, and then you got.
They separated the nationals, yeah.
Yeah, they separated. So I think it's open and limited, and then production and PCC, which makes 0 sense.
Why would
they should have gone open PCC, and then limited production. But hey,
USPSA always making good decisions.
Listen, I'm pretty sure that place was on fire, and everyone was looking for the closest exit, and they were like, this one seems good, and then they got through and were like, whew, and then they look at the details and like, we fucked a little bit of that up. We maybe shifted around, but they were having a rough go. Those poor guys.
I mean, they kind of brought it upon themselves.
Oh, they did it to themselves fully, but. Yeah, everyone was like, you want us to do what now? Sign a what? To do what? Yeah, no, we're not doing that. We'll just not go to the match. And and then all the meme pages got into it. We were like, oh, shit.
That's pretty funny.
Oh, yeah, some of the stuff that's come, especially today, some of the stuff that dropped today, I'm like, oh, damn. Straight for the jugular.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad they switched ranges, though, because thought I was gonna have to cancel PCC nationals too, so that would suck. But
I was still gonna go, only because I was flying in.
Yeah,
and I could just kind of fly in, grab a rental car, haul ass there. Not haul ass, obviously, but get there safely, and then just kind of pray. But
pray.
Yeah, because I mean, they did get me. It's like, okay, I have a good lawyer. I could probably get out of it, But then. But I mean, now I don't have to deal with it. Is that why IDPA has PCC 10? They have PCC 10. That's a thing.
I don't shoot IDPA.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't know. You're speaking foreign.
I'll be shooting IDPA nationals though.
Oh yeah, now with Beretta, I guess, huh?
Yeah, they're the title sponsor, so gotta go to that. It'll be interesting.
Roberto keeps trying me. Roberto, the guy who owns Ghost, keeps trying to get me to go shoot IDPA nationals.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
shoot IDPA?
No. But they sponsor it.
Okay.
So he was like, I've got the slots and no one else wants to go. I'm like, yeah, nobody wants to fucking go. Like, you're trying to make me go? What the hell?
Yeah.
Seems like a punishment to me. But
I think that's going to be at the Colorado range.
Mm-hmm. But they're 10 rounds. I mean,
are they 10 rounds?
I think so. I think, what is it? It's either 10 or 15 because IDPA isn't full capacity, I don't think. I think IDPA is only 10 rounds. Maybe I'm tripping.
I'm not sure.
I might be wrong
Maybe
on that.
Zen Precision will know.
Yeah, Zen, you're kind of dialed up. What's going on there? But either way, I've shot a couple IDPA matches. I shot one IDPA major out here just to do it with a buddy of mine. And it was all right. I got yelled at. Yeah. I got yelled at because I asked him, like, hey, is this cover thing still a thing, or do I just have to stay behind the fault line? So, like, you just have to stay behind the fault line. I'm like, great. So I'm hitting position. I'm shooting it like a USPSA match. I'm flowing through positions. I'm leaning out on fault lines and keeping my momentum moving, and they're yelling cover at me, and I'm like, you fucking said cover didn't exist, and now I'm getting yelled cover. Like, what's going on? But it was a little bit of a mess. I was like, I don't know if I'll come back to one of these.
Yeah. I shot one IDPA match, and I got a lot of procedurals for dropping a loaded magazine.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird rule that they have. It's got to be empty. Or you got to stow it.
Yeah, you got to know the rules for sure.
Yeah. Rules are stupid. Just load it up and go. So what do you think is your if you had to, figure out how to phrase this. If you had to pick one division to shoot just forever, one division, one sport, right? So it'd either be open USPSA or two gun or whatever. Somebody asked if you could shoot one thing for the rest of your shooting career, what would it be? And would you be kind of disappointed that that's the only one you could shoot, or would you be like, I'm good here?
I would, man, I think probably carry optics, like with how much it's growing right now. And just say like USPSA, or IPSC, right? I think I would pick carry optics. Open is great too, don't get me wrong, but like carry optics, it's growing. It's probably the fastest growing division.
It's the new hotness for sure.
Right now it's the new hotness for sure. So yeah, carry optics. That, I mean, I don't know, two gun is also great too, we're trying to grow that. So
yeah, I need to get out and shoot a two gun match. So with CO, so obviously you're shooting the 92X and CO, but you're a 2011 purist at heart. How do you feel about the 2011 and carry optics thing? You think it should happen or not?
I think that would be a completely different division.
Oh, don't tell me JJ got to you. Shit.
JJ and I talked about this for like an hour.
I know. He cornered me at NRA and was like, "Listen, dude." I was like, come on.
Yeah, like, I mean, I think it would be awesome to have a 2011 red dot, without, not an open gun, but just a carry optics 2011. But I wouldn't want to call it carry optics. Like, I think it would need its own division. But yeah, I would shoot that. Because
hell yeah.
Everybody would stop shooting, the Shadow 2 or the 92X or a Glock 34. You can't compare a Glock to a 2011. The trigger will never be as good. It just won't ever be as good.
Yeah, I think the only guns that could get close, I don't think would be at a competitive disadvantage, would be the 92X and the Shadows. Or maybe some of the single action CZs are pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Like those TSOs. I forget the dude's name, but he's a limited shooter, and he's got some of those TSO CZs. And I shot him the other day. I was like, damn, this thing is kind of nice.
Yeah.
I like
nice.
a 2011 trigger. Don't get me wrong, but I love a single action fulcrum style, well done CZ single action trigger. It is really nice.
Yeah, I was just messing with the CZ out in the garage the other day. The single actions are really nice.
Yeah, they're pretty sweet. But that 92X is 1mm reset. It's pretty legit.
Yeah, the double action, I'm still getting used to how to pull a trigger on a double action gun the first shot. But it's still pretty crisp. Like, it's easy to pull.
That would take some getting used to.
Yeah, it takes getting used to.
Somebody asked, what optic do you run on your 92? The SRO and Romeo 3s don't work great with the Beretta stock mount, ?
I've been using the SRO on the defensive optic plate. So it's been running fine for me.
I've heard a lot, because I run the Romeo 3 XL on my open gun, right?
Yeah.
But everyone who shoots carry optics runs the SRO. And I think it's mostly due to the fact that it's not going to break quite as often.
Right.
But what sight do you run on your open guns? Is it still same SRO? You just keep running the SRO?
No, it's the Romeo 3 Max.
Okay.
Yeah.
On
the open gun.
Okay, but it's a slide ride gun, right? Or no?
No,
it's not.
It's
your two gun is a slide ride gun.
Has a mount on it. Yeah. The two gun has an SRO on it.
Yeah.
So like my 38 Super Comp, that has the Max Romeo 3, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's what they're called. Yeah.
Yeah. Sick warranty on those things. I've only broke 2, and every time they're like, just send it. We'll send you another one.
Yeah. I mean, the warranty is good, customer service, but I haven't had a red dot that I love yet. The SRO has been the best one, and I'm still not in love with it. Like,
I got an SRO, and it had this like black ring that started developing around the outside of the glass that no matter how much I tried to clean it, wouldn't go away. So I sent it back to Churchicon, and they sent me a new one, and I haven't even. I think it's probably still in the box. I don't even know. I just put the Romeos back on. I was like, "And we're going."
Yeah, you run the Romeo?
Yeah, I run the Romeo 3XL.
Yeah,
It's like the
those are
Max,
pretty good
just
size.
wider.
Right, right.
I find myself when I lose, I never lose my dot up and down ever. I always lose my dot side to
That's
side if I'm in a weird position drawing. So I like having
on an
that little bit
Atlas,
more.
right?
Yeah,
Atlas.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
always,
I'm still messing with what red dot I want to run on my 92X.
yeah, whatever works. I guess
Right,
doesn't
right.
break all the time.
Yeah.
I remember when the old, what was it, the new generation Delta points came out, like when 2018, 2019. God, I was watching those things break
All the time, yeah.
so much. I watched a buddy of mine, Bobby Ivester, go through 3 of them at one
Yeah.
national or one match. I think it was the Magnus Cup match at Sups. He went through like 3 of them or some shit. He was like,
Jeez.
yeah. Then everybody started saying it was the Delta Point Blues. I was like, oof.
Yeah, yeah, that's I used to carry backup red dots with me.
That's probably smart. I do not do that. I
Yeah.
just keep whole backup guns and just
Yeah,
see what
now I
happens.
have the whole gun.
Yeah. Somebody's run. Oh yeah, Range Cowboy. He's running the 92X in the 92X performance in production and carry optics. I think he was over at my house not too long ago. I was playing with his
Yeah.
92X performance, and he's got that new RTS2 on it. It didn't look like it sucked.
No, no, I think that's what JJ runs too, is the RTS2.
Yeah.
Seymour.
Somebody said they ran into issues with empty cases hitting the bottom of the SRO and jamming the gun up. You probably fix that.
Yeah, I think Jessica had that issue as well.
Yeah. That guy, Range Cowboy, I was talking about, he runs the Tony Systems plate. Apparently, it's better than Beretta's plate.
Yeah, so I think to avoid that problem, it kind of sits back a little further on the slide, the
Yeah.
SRO, with the Tony system plate. You want the
Yeah.
Tony system plate, not the Beretta plate.
Yeah. Yeah, those Tony Systems dudes, man, they got freaking killing. They make like
Yeah,
all the
they're awesome.
aftermarket parts for basically all the CO guns.
Yeah, they're how long have they been around for? I'm not even sure.
I don't know, but I know they're based overseas.
Yeah, they're Italian, I believe.
Yeah, they are Italian. Yeah, because I was talking with Roberto. I guess he's friends with that guy.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, that guy's got so much more cool shit that doesn't even make it to the U.S.
Yeah, yeah. They have a lot of stuff. I didn't realize how much stuff they had.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Yeah, they specialize in Beretta accessories as well, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess they make the best tubes for the shotguns, and they do all that
cool.
stuff. Yeah, no idea. But so when you run 2-gun, what rifle are you running?
2-gun, I run my TTI Ultralight.
Dope.
Yeah, it's a really great rifle. I've been running that for 8 years. Long time.
So being that you've shot for Taren forever, you've obviously been to that crazy ass range that he has.
Yeah.
How nuts is that thing in person? Is it cooler than it looks on the Instagram?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. Like, he has a bunch of property out there, and it's fun to shoot. Like, it's not, I wouldn't consider it like I'm gonna go to TTI and get a really great practice in today. Like, I'm gonna go to TTI and have a really fun time. Like,
yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
It's just kind of, it's kind of point and shoot stuff, right? So it makes it really fun, but it's not like it's just set up the same the whole time, and it's like just get a good video of you like speed run, and that's what TTI is, right? But you could make a good practice there, of course, but it's pretty enjoyable. Like, I've never had a bad time at Taren Tactical.
Yeah, and you never knew who you're gonna run into.
Right.
Like,
yeah. Like,
I guess all the celebrities shoot there.
Yeah, like I mean, when I got the opportunity to help train Keanu, so that was pretty rad. Like, I couldn't believe that. Like, just
that's pretty sick.
Keanu Reeves, I'm just hanging out at Taren's, shooting, and here comes Keanu on his bike. I was just like, holy crap, no way, and Taren's
Did you
like
fangirl out? Because I would have fangirled out. I'd have been like, holy shit, it's freaking Neo.
I know. I'm like, oh gosh. No, I kept my cool pretty well, but he's a really great guy.
Yeah, I
Super
mean,
cool guy.
he seems like he's known as like the sweetheart of Hollywood. Like you see him
Yeah,
giving
yeah.
up his seat on trains and,
Right, yeah.
taking the subway all the time. The guy seems legit.
Yeah, he's super humble guy.
Plus, he is a legitimate jiu-jitsu practitioner, and I
Yeah.
heard I heard took the firearms training thing to a whole new level of seriousness when it comes to like Hollywood actors. He got kind of obsessed.
Yeah, he wanted to be the best. And
Yeah,
I
it's
would
pretty
say he is
legit.
the best. And in Hollywood wise, like actors, like he's really good. He's fast.
Yeah. Well, he makes it look cool as shit in the movies.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does that silly mag flip thing. Like, told him like
Yeah,
I could save you
what's up?
like 2 seconds, man. Stop doing
What's up
that.
with that? Did y'all try to train that out of him, or he's like,
No,
no, it
no.
looks cool on camera?
I mean, when I was training him, I did tell him like it's silly, man. You don't want to do that, but it's for the movies. Like the movies like it. But
Because
so
I always
he was
wonder that you
training
always see
for
the
the movie, right?
flip
Like
the mag like 38 feet to the
and then
right,
it's
slams another
he
one, and
gets
I'm like,
stuck.
what are you
Right.
doing?
Yeah, it's funny to watch, but yeah, I told him that, but he's like, oh, they want me to do it for the movie, like because every scene, it's like that mag flip. It's so
Yeah, it's
funny.
with every gun too. I mean, the pistols,
Yeah,
he's like, wow, and then the rifle, he's like slamming it across the
I
room,
know.
slamming a mag across the room.
Right, right. Like, dude, it's gonna fall faster if you just let it fall.
Yep,
Like,
yep. It's freaking
yeah,
sick.
he was going out there like once a week for a while.
How far is that range from where you're at? Well, were you based somewhere else before you moved to Salt Lake City where you saw all that, or no?
Yeah, so I'm in St. George right now, but I was in Reno, Nevada.
Okay. Yeah, that's not
Yeah,
far. I mean, that's like on the border of California, I think, right?
yeah, it's probably I guess like 8 hours away from LA.
Oh,
Then,
shit.
but from here, St. George is like 6 hours away.
Oh, so you're actually closer now than you were.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Oh, yeah. I like St. George, man. That is a beautiful town.
yeah.
Absolutely beautiful
It's pretty
town.
nice here.
I can't remember the name of the restaurant that me and my wife went to when we were down there I can't remember. I don't remember which nationals was held down there, what year, but we went to a restaurant that was like up on top of a mountain. And we
Oh,
sat
the
outside.
Red Cliffs, probably.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That sounds about right. Amazing food, like
Do they have
5-star food, delicious.
the school right next door?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But we were sitting up on the balcony eating our food, looking around. We are like, holy shit, this place is gorgeous.
Yeah, it's really pretty here.
Yeah, it was
Besides,
really nice.
summertime is pretty brutal.
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine it gets hot out there. But do y'all get snow in the winter too? Because that would suck.
I mean, we get snow, but it melts the same day.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's nothing serious. It's not like Montana or anything. Like doesn't really snow.
I couldn't
Like
do the cold, man.
I
Can't
love
do
the
it.
cold. I
Oh,
miss I'm from Montana, so I miss that kind of weather.
you're from Montana. How the hell did you end up way over here?
Well, my dad, he's a underground miner, so he kind of took the family.
Underground miner.
Yeah, he's a gold miner.
Holy, don't hear that often.
Yeah,
That's insane.
yeah, he's been doing that for like 30 years. Long time.
You see it in the movies, but
Right, you see it in the
I've
movies.
never actually met a miner, like a legit like underground miner.
Yeah.
That's insane. Absolutely crazy. So moved from Montana down there, but I don't know, man. Cold. I can't do the cold. I just I spent a year working in North Dakota, and it broke me of my love for the cold. It was just so cold. I was like, you know what? Fuck that. Not going anywhere in the cold anymore.
Yeah. Well, Texas, it's not. How cold does it get there?
Dude, mid-winter, like when it's at its coldest, it's like 48 degrees and sunny.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
nice.
yeah. It's we had that one snowpocalypse year, and it was
Yeah.
even then it snowed, the snow stuck, but then the next day it was like 50 degrees. It just took forever for the snow to melt, so it like wasn't even that bad. But but yeah, like I went up and trained with Charlie Perez a couple weeks ago. I guess it's been like a month ago now. And you get up there, and it's like 35 degrees. I'm like, dude, it's supposed to be summertime. He's like, yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes it gets cold. I'm like, you did not tell me about this. I would have rescheduled
Where's
this trip. He's
Where's
up in like right outside of Denver.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no, hard pass. I was so pissed.
Yeah, I was just in Montana like just a few days ago, and it went from 100 degrees. It was 96 degrees, and it dropped to 60 degrees the next day.
No, I'm a hard pass
I don't
on
know
that.
how that happened, but it was 100 degrees one day, and then the next day it was 60 degrees, and which 60 is really nice, but yeah, I couldn't believe how much it dropped.
Yeah, I'm a hard pass on that. I'm not a big fan of the cold. So let's get back to some of the questions. So somebody asked, what is your favorite training drill and why?
Okay, so it kind of goes back and forth. I like to work on my weaknesses, of course. So I would say my favorite drill is a transition drill. And that's where, so I call it, it's a stop plate. So I'll set up, like on my 180 line, like just a little before it, I have like, let's see, 2 targets on the left side. I have my stop plate in the center, and then I have 2 targets on the right side, and I spread them out for my transition drill. And I start in the holster, and I start with the start plate, and then I'll transition to the left, shoot 2, back to the stop plate, transition to back all the way to the left, and then go back to the stop plate, and then transition to the right, stop plate, transition to the right again, stop plate, and I'll number them. So maybe I'll go stop plate 1, back to the center, stop plate 2, and then go to the right. Like, so that's what I do for transition, is just back and forth, like stop plate, paper, stop plate, paper, stop plate, paper.
That's a pretty baller drill.
Yeah, it's Wanzik taught me that drill. And it's my favorite drill to work transitions.
How far out are the targets?
So you can really mess with it. Like my stop plate is like 15 yards, and it's a, like 6-inch plate, 8-inch plate, whatever you want. And then like full size targets at, 15, 20 yards. And then you can put one close, and you can put one at 7 yards. You can put one at 10 yards. And it's just working those transitions at different speeds.
But they're close. They're close to the 180 line. So it's a pretty exaggerated movement.
Yeah, you're really like, as much as movement you'll ever do in USPSA, will be your transitions. And I find that the best way to work transitions.
That's pretty legit. Mike, don't make fun of my haircut, bro. You don't even have a beard anymore. I have Drago
Mike
cut.
Took his beard away.
I know, yeah, he shaved it.
He looks like he's like 25. I couldn't even recognize him.
God, I know, it's terrible. I saw it and I was like, we can't be friends until that thing grows back.
Yeah, I saw him at Dragon's Cup, and I didn't even recognize him until he started talking. I'm like,
I know. Oh, it was weird because I saw him from behind, and I'm like,
yeah,
that's Mike. I know that ass. That's Mike. And then he turned around, and I'm like, that's not Mike. Mm-hmm. It caught me off guard.
Who the hell's that?
Pretty much. Yeah. What'd you do with Mike? Imposter. No, that's a pretty sick drill. I got it. So yeah, I'm setting that up tomorrow.
Yeah, try it.
Yeah, because I haven't.
And you can't miss a stop plate. If you miss, you have to start all over. But you can, number your targets. So like, far left, 1, 2, 3, 4, however many targets you want up really. But put them on the 180 line or just before, so you're not breaking the 180. But yeah, it's start stop plate, go to the left, stop plate, right, stop plate. Like just go back and forth.
And are you when you're shooting that, are you setting your feet for one section and then turning for the next section, or you're going straight right all the way left?
Yeah, I'm like, my body's ready to transition from the left side all the way to the right side. I'm not moving my feet. I have them, spread apart, so I don't have to move my feet.
Yeah.
Because I find it's a lot of the times like I'll like add extra movement that I don't need by things like that. Like if you just set yourself up a little wider, you can get them both. Yeah,
that's a dope drill.
Yeah,
that's one I heard before.
It helps with transitions too.
Yeah, I've been transitions and trigger speed, David Wampler gave me a drill he calls the gauntlet, where he puts us like a start area and then like a 25-yard alleyway. And on each side, you've got like 10-yard open targets, one here, one here, one here, one here, and you go back and forth while moving down. And the goal is to hit like alphas as fast as you can and hit a certain pace to get to the end. I'm like, well, how fast do you do it? And he told me, I'm like, all right, well, then I shoot it. How the hell does this dude get all the way and then he sends me a video and he's like, go, 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 go. I'm like, okay, there it is. All right. Yeah, I suck. I got to get better.
Yeah, I think the transition drill will help with split times too.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, what helps me with split times is actually not thinking about splits, is when I just kind of focus on my fundamentals and staying calm. That's where I start seeing my split results, versus if I tell myself like, oh, you want 13 splits right here.
You're going to slow down.
Never happens that way.
Yeah.
Never happens that way. When I get my 13 splits, 12 split is when my fundamentals are perfect, or not perfect, but like I have my fundamentals good and I'm calm and relaxed. Then I can start splitting.
Yeah, definitely.
But if I'm tense, forget it.
Yeah, I have a similar, like every time I tell myself, all right, you gotta hammer the trigger this stage.
Yeah.
Like it ends up like 18 split, 18 split, 20 split, 18 split. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And also for splits, I like to work on like confirmation drills. That really helps.
So explain what confirmation drills you run for that.
So it's kind of hard to explain a confirmation drill, but there's there's 4 confirmation drills, but the first one, do you know what a confirmation drill is? Like, say you're like where you need to shoot at, like if your target's 20 yards away, what split you need to be at.
Yeah, right? I do those 7, 10, 15, 20, 30.
Okay.
And I usually do it like at least once a week, trying to just confirm what's going to give me good hits at what distance, at what speed.
Right. So I kind of do it a little more simple whenever I'm out practicing. It's the first thing I really usually start with. Mm-hmm. And I'll just set up a target 10 yards away and I'll put like black dots on them. And I'll start with the confirmation 3, which is like a 0.3 split and a 0.35 split. Not very fast, but you want to put it in the same hole. So it's like confirmation 3 is you see your black dot, you shoot, bang, it comes back down, you see it settle, bang, and it should be just one hole, right? That's confirmation 3. However fast you can put it in one hole. Mine is like 1.33 between 0.13 and 0.135. Confirmation 2 is when you shoot and then you see your dot come back and it just right as it settles back down, you shoot again. So it's like pop, pop, pop. That's like 0.25 or 0.2 between 0.25. And then confirmation 1, that's your split times, like, 0.1 between 0.15. And that's just whenever you see it like da, 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 and like how fast your gun can return. It's really hard to explain over the phone like this. I like to draw it out, but I try to the first thing I work on.
Trying to get you and get to draw it out for the people listening so they can go home and try it and torture themselves.
Go to what is it? Ben's class, Ben Stoger, Wanzik Kim. They teach it really well on their class. So that's where I learned that from.
I think they have a YouTube video about it now.
Yeah.
I think I saw that might be one out.
It's a really good drill. Like I didn't realize how crappy my fundamentals were and like my return of the gun until I started doing that drill. And even 10 yards away, like I want my splits to be way tighter, because you'll see somebody split like a 10 or 13, but their shots are here.
Yeah, the hits are like this. Yeah.
You want that here.
Yeah.
It's harder to do than you think, right?
No, yeah. What kind of clicked for me on it was I gripped the gun, hard, right? But shooting in Texas all the time, hands get sweaty, hands move inside of hands. So I actually notice whenever I chalk the shit out of my hands in the midsummer and don't with how tight everything is when I'm shooting my confirmation drills.
Yeah.
So like even something as simple as having enough pressure and stability in your grip, maybe at plus minus 10 pounds,
right,
can change that so
what
drastically.
You want your shoulders doing, and
yep.
you know, like locking the wrist, but keeping your trigger finger relaxed. Like there's a lot of just little things that add up.
Yeah, it gets crazy really fast. So that transition drill, I'm still stuck on that. I want to go shoot that. It's going to be legit.
Yeah, send me a video.
Yeah, I will.
It's really fun, and get your times though. Get your speed.
Yeah, for sure. I do everything on the clock for live fire. I'm not a big use the timer and dry fire guy. I don't know. I'll use it to start, but you know, people set like par times and stuff. I used to do it, and now I just kind of know what my times are going to be. They don't change much.
What feels good versus,
Yeah. Plus, sometimes I get like, okay, I got to chase par time because one of my asshole friends will send me a drill that he did and send me the times. He's like, beat that. And I'm like, yeah. So then I try to push for it, and then the fundamentals get sloppy. Yeah. You're like, Jesus.
It looks even worse than before.
Yeah. You're like, come on, man. That timer can get you sometimes.
Yeah.
JJ was giving me shit because he saw that I got one of those Shooters Global timers, and he was like, oh, cool. And then he goes through my history, and he's like, you're not dry firing. I'm like, what? He's like, you don't have any dry fire stuff set up in here. I'm like, it does that? Like, I didn't know it did that. Like, yeah, he's like going through the history of my shot timer.
You're not dry fire.
He
like take his class or something?
No, well, I've taken his classes before.
Okay.
But I don't remember where this was. I think we were at Dragon's Cup. Dragon's Cup, and he saw that I had one of those timers, and he's like, give me that. And he's like scrolling through my history, like he's going through my browser history on my computer. He's like, you're not dry fired at all? I'm like, yes, I do.
You don't dry fire?
Yeah, he got mad at me. I'm like, dude, I didn't even know it had a dry fire setting, bro. I just got that timer like 2 weeks ago. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you see JJ dry firing at the NRA show, like.
Yeah, guy's a nut. It probably does look as bad as my computer history. Yeah. Everybody uses their phones now. It's not even a thing. But I can't remember I use a computer at work. I don't think I own a personal computer at my house.
It's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I always have a work computer. What do I need a personal computer for?
It's not a bad thing. I mean, now we have our little computer on our phones are computers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And everybody uses them mostly for social media, even though they're like, to think about, like, you have more,
so much more.
Yeah, you have more computing power in your pocket than NASA had when they went to space. But we're over here like, this TikTok video is great. Heart.
Yeah, look at this girl dancing.
Yeah. Who knows? But so there's your favorite. We got your favorite drill, right? And we also got an extra one out of you. What is your favorite thing to practice when you go to the range? Do you have like a certain skill set that you're like, oh yeah, I enjoy this? And then what do you not like practicing?
I like practicing speed. I enjoy practicing going fast. Like I like to go fast. You know, I like seeing that's why I shoot red dots, because I like the speed. But I also like shooting shooting on the move. I think that's a lot of fun, and it always helps to get better at shooting on the move.
Yep.
But what I don't like practicing is partials. You know, I really need some work on partials. Like, I'm not splitting as fast as I should be on partials. Like hard covers, no shoots. I was always super scared of no shoots, and then I just kind of went a different route at looking at them, and I've gotten a lot better than what I was before. But I don't like practicing hard things, you know, like I don't enjoy practicing what I'm not good at. And surprisingly, I'm not good at just standing and shooting. Like, I find my best runs are like
when you're
long
moving
courses, you know, like, but classifiers, if I'm just standing and shooting, or, oh man, I hate it. Like I just want to move, and I want to go, I want to run, I want to shoot fast. Like, but a lot of the courses where it's just standing and shooting 12 shots, like
They
I'm
suck.
way too slow.
I
And
think it's boring.
that's my weakness. Yeah, it's boring, and like it's my weakness. Like I don't know if I'm not programming it right, because usually I'm like, seconds behind the winner of the stage, and if 3 seconds on a short course 12 round stage is huge, like I'm like going slow as hell. Like, how do I speed this up? But like on a long course, 32 round stage where you're running, it's like a second behind the winner. So it's a huge difference for me. And I've been working on like, why am I so slow just standing and shooting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate the standing and shooting stuff. Every time I come into a standard stage, I'm like, oh.
Right. Like I want to be moving.
Yeah.
Even like when I'm standing and shooting, like I notice myself adding extra movement that I don't need, and it's just extra time added to it. But yeah, like shooting on the move and on the go, like that's my favorite way to shoot.
Yeah, I'm enjoying that some of the classifiers are starting to come up with are moving classifiers. Because when I first got into the sport, classifiers were like, okay, you're going to stand in this box.
Yeah.
I got 4 targets down here. You're going to shoot them. You're going to reload. And you're going to shoot them again. And by the way, there's like 1,900 people who have done this in like sub 2.5 seconds. And you're like, wait, what?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always say what the fastest time is, and
yeah.
That's why I don't understand classifiers. Like USPSA isn't about standing and shooting, and all classifiers is standing and shooting.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me. Like it doesn't. Like I wish classifiers you had some movement, because that's what you see in USPSA.
I really think that after your initial classification should be based on major match performance.
Yeah, I think so too. 100%.
I really think, because I think that would also drive people to get out to majors more. Like people who shoot their local matches might want to aspire to go shoot some majors because they want that classification bump.
Right. And I think you would see less paper GMs.
Oh, yeah, because
it's
there's
honest
a lot of them.
At a major match. It's honest,
Oh, yeah.
It's, who's the best at a major match, but now you have so many paper GMs. Like I even myself, so I'm just an A class in PCC, but I'm whooping everybody. Like grandmasters I'm beating at major matches in PCC. I'm like, how the hell am I beating you, bro? Like, or even master class, like,
Yep.
It doesn't make any sense to me. So it just tells me like it's not like an accurate scoring, it's not honest.
It's not. I'm a master, and there's like obviously the GMs like Christian and those guys and KC, but other than that, I'm smacking most of the GMs that I end up shooting against. Yeah, and I'm like, I get beat by like the AMU guys and like JJs and KCs and like Brennan Conway, who's a newer GM, who's a monster. Like he's a beast. He, he'll get me, and I'm like, all right. And then every now and again, when I got to shoot against Steiner, that guy's my kryptonite. I don't know what it is. Guy. Yeah, fuck that guy. I hope his gout flares up. But yeah, I mean, I saw, so like when I first got into the sport, got a classification. I think I classified as like a C or something. The GMs, you're like, oh, dude, the GMs are like, the monsters. And now you're like, them, GM doesn't mean anything in this sport.
It doesn't mean
anymore.
Anything anymore. Mm-mm. Yeah, it doesn't. Like, I don't go, like, I don't look at someone like, oh, you're a GM. Like, I don't look at them that way. It's like I look at who's winning. Who's top 5.
And you love to see it, and you love to see it in all these people's IG bios. They're like, I'm a 4-division GM. Yeah. Grandmaster USPSA, and you're like, douche.
Placing like 60%.
Yeah. I remember it was funny. I can't remember what match it was at, but somebody tagged me in a post and was like, oh yeah, shot this match, and then tagged me in it randomly. I didn't know who they were. And then I go to their page and it's like, GM Open, whatever. And I'm like, oh shit, this guy must be good. And then I go to practice score competitor and I search his thing and I'm like, oh, this guy's finishing like 60% at matches.
Right. Oh, this guy just went and paid $5 to shoot a classifier 20 times until He got a GM score.
Yeah, you're like, what's going on? That's why I honestly think they should wipe classifications to 0 and then
I think so.
start over with major match performance.
Major match performance.
Because then the GMs are the monsters, right?
It's honest, you know?
Yeah, to get a
You'll
GM
see.
score, you're going to have to work for that shit, right?
You'll have to be up there with the GMs.
Even to be a master, I mean, you shoot 85% to 95% at a major match, you're a master, right?
Right.
You're a master of the skill. You know, whereas you have masters that are getting smacked by B's and A's, and then you have GMs getting smacked by A's and M's.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I mean, it kind of, like, just looking at the scores, and every match I shoot PCC, I beat a grandmaster or a master, like a few of them, you know, so it's not honest.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't consider myself a grandmaster in PCC because I'm not up there with max. You know, I'm not shooting 95% of max.
Well, there's like one guy who shoots 95% of max, so that's kind of an unfair comparison. Like
Josh and
maybe
Scott.
Josh and Scott, like 90 to 95%, like that's them, but he doesn't count. There's guys like him and Christian and you know, like Max Michelle when he was dominating CO, like those guys don't count. They're outliers.
I mean, I don't know. That's the best.
Yeah, true.
That's who I want to chase.
Then we need to have like an alpha master class or some shit.
Right. Yeah.
For like you win a national title, you get like a different classification.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah,
but
it's like GM and then something else.
Yeah, higher than a GM.
Yeah. Grant Kunkel. He's a really good steel challenge guy, but he is not even on the same universe as Max when it comes to PCC and USPSA. Sorry to tell you.
I mean, I don't know. He's gotten super close. Like
we shot
a steel match with him just a couple weeks ago, and he was beating Max the first half of it. Yeah,
like I said, steel challenge and steel matches.
Yeah, this was an all-steel match, so it was a USPSA, but just steel. You know, like Barry's steel, right? Same exact thing.
Yeah, but
Grant was beating him.
Yeah, he's a good shooter. I'm not saying he's not a good shooter.
Yeah.
But you throw him into a nationals.
Right.
And there's going to be a little bit of a who's your daddy happen.
Yeah.
Right? Same thing with like what Christian's doing in open right now, you know, like
Christian's dominating.
Yeah, people get close, you know, but then you go to a nationals and he's like, "Oh, by the way, watch this."
Right. And I want to see Christian go against Eric Raffel.
Oh, so bad. Got him.
I can't wait for that.
I used to, when I first started this podcast, because I have the utmost respect for Eric Raffel. He is the GOAT. He's the Tom Brady of shooting. He's the greatest to ever do it. I used to be like, nobody is even on that level, right? But shooting with Christian as much as I have and watching how good he's gotten as fat, and he's like still getting much better. He's not plateauing, right? I tell people now that Christian is Eric when Eric was in his 20s, right?
Yeah.
Just dominating everybody, coming up, and everybody's like, oh, the kid's not as good as this person, but in reality, he's the next superhuman shooter. I think that match would be closer than people are thinking.
I think so too. I think Christian is getting ready to compete against Eric.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I think he's really putting in a lot of work to beat him. I mean, I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but I know he wants to. But I think he said, like, he doesn't think he's going to do it, but he's going to try. Like, I don't know exactly what he said, but
publicly, yeah. But when you get him around a table with the boys and get him a little schnozzed up, the real confidence comes out. He's like, there's nobody on this fucking planet. I'm like, yeah, there it is. There's that.
I mean,
Christian
spirit.
Just
all of a sudden came up though, like
out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, like 2018 Nationals, my first Nationals. He was there, and he got third. And I remember talking to him there, like, oh, shit. And he was like, it's the first time I ever met him. And he's like, oh, yeah, you know, it's the first time I placed this well. Like, I'm surprised. And then nobody would have guessed that he's now on a 3-year straight terror.
Yeah.
And you're
He's
like,
still
oh,
going.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, swept the areas and won nationals. I think he's the first person to ever do that
Yeah.
in the same
All
year.
the
Like,
areas, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, he won all 8 areas and nationals, which he's the Max Michel won all 8 areas, but never won all 8 areas and won nationals that year.
Okay.
Christian won all 8 areas and won nationals. So he's the first and only person, I think, to do that.
That's
If I'm
pretty
not
cool.
mistaken, I think I'm right on that. I may be wrong.
Yeah,
Somebody smarter than me will point it out.
that's a big accomplishment still. Like,
Yeah, dude's a beast.
yeah.
But yeah, I remember going into the last day of this just past nationals. Right, he probably doesn't want me telling this story, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I saw him driving in. Like I was going to pick up my golf cart, and he was picking up his golf cart.
Yeah.
And I was like, "How you feeling, dude?" And he was like, real quiet, and I'm like, "You good?" And you could see the emotion. And then like you could see he like started to like tear up a little bit. And he's like, I'm so fucking ready for this. He's like, these people do not understand what I'm about to do to them. Like this is my match to win. Mark my words, I'm winning this match.
Yeah.
And he like grabbed me and he's like, I'm ready. Okay, I'm ready. And I'm like, all right, I believe you. You're ready, dog.
All
Go
right,
do it then.
right.
Yeah, I'm like, chill out, bro. And then he goes and he was down. I think he was down in points going in the third day. Or close. He was either down or it was really close, and he came back.
Open Nationals?
Yeah, it was Open Nationals at CMP last year, and yeah, you could just see the passion, and I was like, "Fuck, this kid's a phenom!" Like,
I mean,
and then
he's doing it nonstop.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's got a full-time job now, I think. So,
Oh, it
and
is?
he's still doing it. Yeah. I think his mom's on here. Shelly, is he working full-time now? I think he is. Pretty sure he is. But
I know he was going to college.
Well, I think he graduated. He graduated like 6 months ago, and I think he started with a firm. I think Morgan Stanley. I think so. Yeah, because I was making fun of him because we were at dinner, and he opened his wallet, and I saw the Morgan Stanley Amex, and I'm like, I see you, dog.
He's got a job now.
Yeah. You got a job now, huh? Big boy life, but
yeah. I mean, I'm surprised people aren't paying him yet, like in the shooting world. Like, someone big pick him up, but that'll probably be down the road.
Yeah. Well, I know when he left Infinity, he had some offers, but yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I guess shooting with the company though, it's kind of a lot of like things to deal with versus if you just can shoot for whatever you want to shoot. Like that's pretty nice having.
It's a lot, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Like, I mean, there's an obligation there you got to fulfill. And you just got to do it.
Yeah, it becomes tough sometimes because, of course, I want to shoot a 2011, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to be real with what you want. Like, I think he's at the point where he's like, I don't need the help, so why would I deal with the headache, right?
Right, like, and it makes complete sense, like, to leave Infinity and get a EMG, the best open gun ever made, right? So,
like, Eddie is a monster.
Yeah,
he builds a hell of an open gun.
Phenomenal guns.
Yeah, I like Eddie. The more and more time I spend with Eddie, I'm like, yeah, you're fun as hell. He's fun to be around. He's a fun guy.
He's a super cool guy. Yeah, I really like Eddie. When I went to the MGM junior camp, Eddie was one of the instructors there, and he was my favorite instructor. And I'll never forget like just him taking me off by just him and I, and he took me off. And he just worked with me for about 30 minutes, and I thought that was the coolest thing.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. That he's, when I met him, right, I'm shooting for Atlas, right? Yeah. And he owns a competing brand, so I didn't know how he would be like, is this going to be weird, because I'm still new to the sport, you know what I mean? I'm still, it's like my third full season. Okay. So I didn't know, and then I met him, I'm like, oh, this dude's fucking awesome, right?
Yeah.
And then cool. he's a practical joker.
Right. Yeah.
He'll and then no fail. Once a week or once every couple of weeks, he sends me like 19 pictures of a gun he finished on Facebook, and he's like, "What do you think, huh?" And I'm like, "That's fucking sick." And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Check out that frame fit." He's like, "Check out this blending." I'm like, "Yeah."
I know. Check out how everything is so perfect.
Yeah, yeah. He literally sends me. He's like, "Doesn't this look like there's no, when it just looks so perfectly flush that it looks like it's one piece?"
Right,
He's
yeah.
like, "Doesn't it look like that?" I'm like, "Yeah, it looks really good, Eddie. It's nice. It's really, really
Yeah.
nice. Stop sending me all
Yeah,
those guns. I don't have money to buy all these."
yeah, whenever I'm like doing like some kind of gunsmith work on my 2011, I'll message him, "Hey Eddie, like what am I doing wrong here?" Like give me some tips. And he'll give me tips, he helps me with whatever. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
he's got it
Yeah.
figured out, man. He's got it figured out. Yeah, I've told him many times that if I wasn't shooting Atlases, I would shoot EMGs.
Yeah.
Period, because they are sick,
Yeah,
absolutely sick.
they're real nice. Really nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of love put into those guns. But Eddie, as a person, like you said, met him at did that MGM junior camp. I wish they still did that.
Yeah, me too.
That seems
That
like
was
such a
big. That was
cool
really
thing.
cool.
Why did they stop it?
I'm not sure. Probably the instructors, finding instructors who wanted to teach it.
I figure out, dude, I'd teach shit out of that thing. It
Yeah,
seems
me
like it'd be so
too.
fun. I've
Yeah, I
been
mean,
go ahead.
when I took the MGM class, like or the camp, it wasn't a class, it was a camp. Eddie Garcia was there, Max Michelle, who else was there? Like top shooters, really great instructors were there.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone that I've talked to, like all like Christian and you and Gianni, they're all like, "Oh yeah, dude, that camp was amazing." And I'm like, "Dude, I wish they still had something like that." Because there's the one thing USPSA I think is missing is access to juniors and female shooters. They
Yeah,
don't push for either. They need to be pushing for juniors because they're the future of the sport, and they need to be
right.
pushing for female shooters because it's a huge demographic. I
Yeah,
mean, there's a shit ton of female shooters in the U.S. A
right.
lot of them. I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean, 40% of new gun owners are females.
yeah, that's
40%. That's pretty big. Like that's
millions of people.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, I love hearing that. Like I think that's really cool stuff. But
Yeah, hell yeah. I've been saying it for
and
a while. They need to make that push.
yeah, and I think a lot of females are getting into USPSA a lot more than what there were when I started.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's more since when I started, in
Right.
like 2018 or 20,
Yeah, yeah.
20, yeah, 2018. There's a lot more female shooters now than there was when I first started.
Yeah.
And good ones. I mean, there's some young females coming up where you're like, oh shit.
I know, I'm keeping an eye on all of them.
Yeah.
Coming up fast too.
Yeah, they're beast.
Yeah.
But juniors and females especially, I think they need to tap into that market. And there's ways to do it. I mean, it's super simple, and they could do it pretty easily if they get their marketing in check. But I've beat that dead horse about 15 times too many.
Yeah.
Um, but so, what do you think you're most excited about in the future of your shooting as far as is there like a world shoot coming up? Are you shooting the world shoot this year, or is it even happening this
The
year?
pistol world shoot or which
Yeah,
world
the
shoot?
IPSC world shoot.
So I've been shooting a PCC nationals to get into the ladies team at the PCC world shoot.
Hmm.
That's been my biggest goal for the last 3 years now, and I believe I have a secure spot now because I've placed top three 2 times in a row now at nationals. So this year I can secure it this year unless it was secured last year already. I'm not exactly sure how they do it. I know you need 3 wins, top three, and you have a secured spot, and then they pick a number 4.
So is PCC world shoot different from the regular IPSC world shoot?
I mean, it's different. It's just PCC instead of handgun.
Okay,
So
but it
it's still
happens at the
it's still
same time.
IPSC. No, they're talking about having it next year in Florida.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it still
Oh,
hasn't been
shoot.
announced yet, but they're talking about it next year in Florida.
Oh, that'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, so this year's PCC Nationals, I'll shoot that, try to secure the spot. I have to place top three, and then yeah, hopefully be on the world team,
You'll win it.
the ladies team. Yeah,
Yep.
I'm gonna go for the win. We'll see what happens. Like that's the best competition I have in the shooting sports is Lena and Justine.
They are monsters, but Justine will
Yeah.
probably shoot open if I had to guess.
No, I mean, no, Justine
Oh wait,
Justine will shoot PCC.
well yeah, because it's open limited PCC production,
Yeah, she'll
right?
probably shoot open and
She'll
then
probably shoot both.
PCC.
Yeah.
I mean, me too, though. Like,
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
But
thought about now that they're, I guess, re-upping registrations, signing up and shooting PCC just to do it. Like I'm already going to be down there taking a couple extra days
Might
off
as
work
well.
and shoot some PCC. I'm going to get one of those dissident PCCs though. Those things are awesome.
Dissonant? Why not a Brecky custom?
I haven't shot a Brecky custom. Is that what you shoot?
You haven't shot a Brecky custom?
Mm-mm.
You gotta try a Brecky.
All right, I'll have to do it. I'll order one. Whatever. I've done dumber stuff.
Or the JP5.
I've shot the JPs.
The JP5?
Maybe not that one.
JP5
This was like 3
pretty
years
legit.
ago.
Okay. Yeah, that was just the JP. I don't know what model it's called, but they have the JP5 now, and that thing's pretty sweet. That's what I shoot now.
Justine's in here. She said PCC. Yeah, see?
Yeah.
There you go.
Open too?
Are you shooting open too, Justine?
Here's my phone.
You got to get a phone mount.
I have this magnetic thing, but it's not working very well.
There you go. Yeah, that's gonna be a hell of a world shoot team.
Yeah, I'm excited.
For real.
I think there'll be 4 people, so I'm
It'll
hoping
be
Lena,
you,
Justine, myself,
Lena,
and then either Jay Lease or Lanny.
Yeah.
I think, or maybe Jessica Dorian. Yeah, she's pretty good too, Jessica.
Yeah, we will see. Justine, you're not going to shoot open? What the hell? That's pretty lame.
9 days in Alabama, that doesn't sound very...
Yeah, with like a 2-day break in between.
Yeah.
I thought about that's the only reason I thought about flying is because I could fly in, then fly out, then fly back in, then fly back out instead of having to drive up there and be there for 9 freaking days total in an Airbnb going, what am I doing here?
Yeah, I don't even know if I'm going to shoot open. Definitely PCC, but I don't know about open.
Yeah, open or limited. Shoot open. Be all right. Oh, well.
Open.
Yeah, got to shoot open. All right, so let's get into, this is one of my favorite parts of the podcast where we see just how you feel about competitors, right? We're going to see who you think is going to win each nationals. So let's start with open nationals. Who do you think is going to win open?
Who I want to win or who I think is going to win?
Who you want to win. You can do who you want to win and who you think is going to win. We'll give you 2 there. And then you can even do a category class for ladies.
Okay, so, well, for open,
yeah,
I want JJ to win. You know, I shoot on the same team as JJ. Of course, I want him to win.
He's due.
But Christian, he's been crushing everything, so I can see Christian winning.
Yeah.
You know, so I want JJ to win open. For myself, like in nationals, I want myself to win, of course, but Justine, like she's beat me every single time. So like but I'm still gonna put in the work for it, you know.
Well, she's in here getting in her head. Be like, I'm coming for you, bitch. Watch out.
I'm trying. she's coming close to max, so
she's a beast, dude.
Yeah. Put in
every
work,
time,
right?
This is you're gonna laugh at this, but every single time I shoot a match and she's there shooting open, I'm like, fuck.
Right. Yeah, I know.
I'm like I gotta be on my game, dude.
Yeah.
Because then if she beats me, she's gonna walk by and laugh at me or something.
Right.
She'd be like, haha, you suck. And I'm going to be like, Jesus Christ.
She's 18 years old and she's crushing everybody. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Well,
not just going for the ladies title, you know, she's going for the overall title.
Yeah.
That's really cool to see.
She's beat me a couple times.
Yeah.
A couple times.
Yeah.
I watched her overall, what match was it? New Mexico sectional? Maybe it was the New Mexico sectional. I can't remember what year, but she overalled the match and there was some heat there.
Yeah.
And she kicked my ass by like not a little bit. And we were all sitting there and we're like, oh, who's going to win? Who's going to win? You know, and then because they do it weird how they release the results. It's kind of weird. And then it came out and I just literally looked at this table full of like dudes who thought they were going to win. And I was like, you all got your ass kicked by, at the time, I think 15 or 16-year-old girl.
Right.
I was like, and they're all like, she beat you too. I'm like, but I'm new. You guys aren't.
They're like, they must have got the scores wrong.
Yeah, right. Oh, it was so wonderful. I was laughing my ass off. But yeah. All right. So she makes adults cry. Yeah. Who's your pick for a high senior in revolver? Nobody fucking cares.
Nick asked that.
Yeah.
Nick.
You think
Jerry
revolver should just
shooting,
die?
right?
Yeah. Jerry is a danger in anything he shoots.
Yeah,
the
he's
guy's
awesome.
Still a monster.
He just like flows through a stage and still wins.
Yeah.
You know, just
crazy.
casually shooting.
Yep.
Like
pretty soon he's going to be on a walker and still like overalling matches.
Yeah.
He's going to have a walker with like all the like rifle holders and shit. But all right, so who do you think for limited?
Limited, let's see. Who's shooting limited? Shane Coley. Well, Christian won't be shooting limited, will he?
No, because it's open and limited together.
Probably either, let's see, Shane or I mean, what other limited guys are there?
You got
shooters.
Nils.
Oh, Nils. Duh. No.
Yeah. You got Mason Lane, who's won back-to-back now. Gianni, who's young but an up-and-comer.
Right.
He's a beast.
Yeah, Gianni.
I've bet on Gianni the last 2 years as my dark horse bet. He let me down both times.
Yeah, I'm going to bet on Nils.
Yeah.
I want Gianni to win.
Yeah, Nils, here's the thing. Nils shooting major power factor iron sights, I feel, is almost unstoppable.
Yeah. I mean, he just, look at what he did at Two Gun.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Beat everybody by, almost 10% with a limited gun. A Canic.
A Canic, yeah. Not a normal limited gun. A Canic.
A Canic, like,
yeah.
How is that even possible?
He's like my biggest. He's my biggest single action in carry optics thing. Is him and Mason Lane. Like, look, guys, they're doing this shit with like Canics and SIGs. All right, 2011s aren't going to make you better overnight.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh damn, a lot of people are throwing in names in here. Yeah, John Browning.
Mason Lane.
I like John Browning a lot. My heart hopes that John Browning wins the Nationals because I fucking love that guy. He is.
Where did he place last year?
John's always in the top 5.
Okay.
He's a beast. I mean, AMU legend at this point.
Did he just join AMU? How long has he been with the AMU?
No, John Browning's been with the AMU for a long time.
I don't think I've met him before.
You never met John Browning?
No. I know of John
gosh.
Browning. I've never met him before though.
Super nice guy.
I'll have to introduce myself. Yeah.
Hell of a shooter, super nice guy. Super fun when you get him off the range where he can have a few drinks in him and he's not in public and doesn't have to follow all the rules. But super nice guy. All right, so let's do PCC. Who's going to win PCC?
Oh my gosh.
I fucking wonder.
No, I mean, that's obvious. I'm sure Max is going to win again, but I honestly hope someone beats him. You know, yeah, of course. Like, and I only say that is because he wants someone to beat him. You know, he wants somebody to chase. He's always telling me, he's like, I want somebody to like come close to me, you know, so I can have like a fun race. You know,
these first world problems you're discussing.
You know, he's like,
listen, all right, it's boring at the top. I'm tired of losing.
Exactly.
Somebody needs to beat me because I'm getting bored up here with all my trophies and, you know, just being the best PCC shooter to ever live, whatever.
Yeah.
If I were you, I would tell him to shut the hell up. I'd be like, shut up.
I don't know. I think I want Scott. I would like to see Scott Green win.
All right.
I think that would be cool.
Bet.
But I think Max will win again.
I'm totally clipping that part of the podcast for like some clickbait. Is like,
yeah, give it to show Max.
Yeah. So I'm gonna post it and get people over to listen to the podcast. We're like, I hope somebody beats him.
Yeah, I do. I tell him all the time.
Such a supportive girlfriend.
I tell him all the. Well, he tells me, he's like, I want somebody to like just to beat me. He's like, it's just like so easy. You know, it's easy for him, and he doesn't. He wants a race.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I could see that. I could see that. I mean, not for me, but I could see it. I hope one day I'm like, oh, this is boring. I keep kicking everybody's ass. But all right. So, what do you think for PCC High Lady? Obviously, you gotta be confident. Just be like, I'm gonna kill everybody.
Yeah, I'm gonna put in the work, and I'm really gonna. But I know that's what it's gonna take to win. To practice hard.
Yeah, it's gonna take a lot of practice. I mean, there's some heat. That's a scary world shoot team for all the people that are not the U.S. team.
Right. Yeah.
So what about production?
I don't keep up with production.
She's like, I don't give a fuck.
I mean, let's see, production.
Just say JJ. He's a teammate.
Is JJ even still shooting production?
Yeah, he'll probably shoot production if it's separate from
if JJ
open.
shoots, then yeah, of course JJ. But yeah, who even shoots production anymore? It's Carry Optics now.
Mason
Lane.
Nils, Nils shoots production.
Nils.
Yeah,
probably between JJ and Nils.
Yep, I like it. All right, now let's go to. We'll end it on if you had to do your Mount Rushmore of shooting, who would be on your Mount Rushmore of shooting?
Oh, okay. Let's see. JJ Racaza, Max Leo Grandes. I think even before I started dating Max, he was always, like, I just love
he's a
watching
legend.
him shoot. Yeah. And he's incredible, 5 times national champion. You can't believe it.
And he's such a nice guy.
Yeah. Super humble guy. Let's see, Scott Green and Nils.
All younger guys, no OGs in there.
I mean, Jerry Mitchellek, he's
No.
No,
You already told him to kiss your ass. He doesn't make it. He's not on the list.
Rob Latham.
No. Rob didn't make the list. Suck it, Rob. You got no love over here. No, it's a good list. I mean, all legends.
I mean, what about you?
Who's on my list?
Yeah.
Oh man, Graffel for sure.
Oh shit! I forgot.
Oh well. Hold on. All right.
Wait, we're talking
Mount Rushmore's in the U.S.
American.
Yeah, so I'll leave Graffel out. So probably Rob Latham, JJ, Nils, and probably Max Michel.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a tie between him and Leo Grandes. They're both just as dominant.
Right.
Well, arguably Leo Grandes is more dominant.
Yeah.
I don't think arguably he is more dominant. I don't know, man. That's a hard one to go back and forth on. But definitely Rob, JJ, and Nils.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when I first started shooting, that list was a little different. Like it was whoever was like the legend of the time, like Jerry Mitchellek, Max Michel. These people were hot when I first started shooting.
Yeah.
Rob Latham, Taren Butler. Like Taren was up there for a while.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, and then you've got you've got some legends. Todd Jarrett, Jerry Barnhart. Those guys they're Hall of Famers for sure.
Yeah.
But for our generation, they're like, I never got to see any of those guys shoot. Just didn't,
right.
I got to see Rob shoot a couple times, but that's it.
Yeah, I've never even seen Rob shoot other than on videos.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But sweet. Well, you ready to wrap this thing up?
Yeah. Thank you.
No, dude, thank you. This was a pleasure. I had a lot of fun. I think this was a super awesome podcast. I really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Heck yeah. So you want to shout any sponsors out or anybody out before you head out of here?
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about PCSL really quick.
Let's do it.
So PCSL, check out the Instagram page, but it's a 2-gun match. You should come out. It's here
I
at
will.
the Cobalt Kinetics. You can shoot your PCC and your pistol, or rifle and pistol. But
Am I allowed to use my open guns?
Hell yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah, you're allowed to use whatever gun you want. You know, there's 2 divisions. So you can shoot open or limited pretty much. And
Nice.
yeah, it's a fun time.
So is it when is it?
So the match schedule is up on the website.
Okay.
But
PCSL.com,
there's one
I'm
coming
assuming.
up in October. Yeah, PCSL.com, or you can go to the Instagram page.
Nice.
But there's one coming up in October, and that'll be a 2-gun match. So
Dope.
it'll be fun. I think a lot of top shooters are coming.
Hell yeah. I will be there. I need to go do a 2-gun.
Yeah,
so I'll make it happen.
And let me know if you have any questions about gear, but it's pretty simple.
I definitely probably will.
Yeah, we don't shoot out past 200 yards.
So red dot on a rifle is plenty.
Yeah, I see a lot of people running red dots with magnifiers on them.
Okay. And is it 5.56 or is it a PCC?
You can shoot both. It doesn't matter. You can shoot your PCC on some stages. If you wanted to shoot a rifle on the long range stage, you could switch to your rifle just for that one stage if you wanted to.
No shit.
Yeah. Yeah, like if say you have the long range, 200 yards, not super far, but I'm going to shoot my rifle, it has a scope. And then say you want to go to the next stage, you can shoot your PCC. Yeah, pretty cool.
All right, I'm in.
Yeah, and it's scoring. Have you seen the PCSL target?
The K zone?
Yeah, the K zone.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
So the scoring is pretty cool. Just 1 on the head, if that equals out to 2 alphas, which I've screwed myself on a couple times.
Yeah, I'm just going to slap 2 in the middle and go.
Yeah, like miss the K. It's like barely miss the K. It's like Charlie Mike.
Yep.
But
yep.
Yeah, it's a fun match.
Yeah, it seems like it's really fun. And I've had people go shoot it and they come back and they're like, dude, you got to go shoot it. I just haven't had time, but I need to make time. I'm definitely going to come out to that match. So PCSL. Cool. PCSL. Anybody else?
No, that's it.
Hell yeah. Well, dude, this has been a pleasure. I cannot thank you enough for coming on. It's been a blast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And we definitely have to do it again. Maybe after you win PCC Nats.
Yeah, let's come back after PCC Nationals and Carry Optics Nationals.
For sure. Oh, yeah. CO Nats. I forgot about that.
I'm going to push CO Nationals. I'm going to try to win that.
Hell yeah. Well, when you win CO Nats, we'll have you back on. You can put your trophy in the background.
Yeah, there we go.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I so much appreciate it.
Trevor. Talk
later.
To you later. Bye.
Lynda Turnbull, ladies and gentlemen. She's a beast. She's becoming a legend in her own right. Super, super duper cool. Her and Max, every time I see them at the range, they're just so awesome to be around. Hope you enjoyed it. If you made it this far, you're an animal. 2 hours and 4 minutes. It's a hell of a long time to listen to me babble, but I appreciate it. And if you want to go check out the new Hydra P, go to ghostholsters.com, use Bangin Brass 10 for 10% off, and then go check out Pro Shop Products because they make this podcast possible. Why they still sponsor this thing, I have no idea. But hey, go check out their stuff. They're really cool, and they put up with me. So go help me out. But thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you on the range.